Scientist, researcher, health ambassador for Stay Healthy, and a guy who actually cares. Not that other guys don't care, but I care. And that's why I like to make time to share. And what a week it's been, let me tell you. Well, one, before I get started, I want to give a huge shout out to one of my clients who I've been working with for quite a while. And I made a big mistake. Okay. And I want to share this because if I make a mistake, I'm gonna I'm gonna call myself on it. So I'm gonna start with that, but I also want to just quickly let you know what I'm going to talk about here. We're going to talk a little bit about fatty liver, PCOS. Um, we're going to talk about gut health, and we're going to talk about something that may surprise a few people, and that is how I look at like my mom. I'm a mama's boy, and I'm totally good about that. And my mom has, she has some challenges with her health over the years, as most people as they mature in life. That's just part of the deal. Um, but we're going to talk about the jab as it pertains to our parents, and I think you'll find my views on this interesting, especially if you know me or follow me or have heard me kind of talk about certain things. Um, and I'm going to jump on that. But first, before I share with you this client and tell you about it, you know what? I'm going to share with you the client after. I want to go right into my mom, right? Because I want to talk about this. But I also want to give a big shout out to longtime client and friend, Darylyn, who was recently on the Wheel of Fortune. And you were beautiful. You are beautiful, Darylyn. We love you. You represent it. Major props to you. It was awesome to see that happen. Um, and then let me shift gears and let's talk about my mom. Actually, you know what would have been good if I had a photo of my mom, and I don't have one to post and share. But anyway, let's talk about my mom getting the jab, if you know what I'm saying. So, did my mom get the jab? Yes, she did. Um, and she got the one where you have to get the booster. So, three of my clients are in a similar situation like my mom. And last week, three of them asked me, they said, Robert, I respect you, I value your opinion. Do you recommend or not recommend the jab? And for all three of them, I recommended the jab. Um, and for my mom, who I love big time, of course, I 1000% recommend the jab. And, some people assume they know me and they don't know me. Um, I like to stay abreast of all of it. Um, and yeah, because if my mom were to get sick, I would like her to be in a situation based on her situation to maximize that situation. I would like to have my mom in my life, in this human life that we live, as long as possible. And I do believe, in my opinion, and not everybody will agree with this, but in my opinion, I like the chances of what getting the jab will do for my mom. 1000%. 1000 over the top percent all the way. So if you think you know my views, you may want to think again because it all depends. It all depends. I think you look at the data. I love the fact that we live in a world, or at least I believe our country is designed this way, where it's to our benefit to be informed. And based on our due diligence, we make decisions that will work the best for us. And I also believe that not everyone is in a position, and it could be a mental health issue, where they can do their due diligence. And the people close to them who can look out for their best interests would do the due diligence for them and influence and guide them, persuade them to do what they believe would be ideal for that person. So I'm a big believer that each one of us must take responsibility for our health, um, and make the best decisions we can make based on our knowledge and understanding. Because that leads me to this whole thing about the microbiome, right? Let's talk about that for a second. I believe, like when we talk about the microbiome, right, you'll see this word more and more and more. And the same as when you go to the doctor and they check your blood pressure, very, very, very soon, they'll be checking your microbiome. The same. And what's really cool about the microbiome is that it will do way more for you in understanding that compared to just your blood pressure, right? Because right now you go in and if you get lab work done, they're going to check your triglycerides and your cholesterol, and they're going to look at your hemoglobin A1C, and then when the lab results come back, then they'll go over it with you, or kind of gives them a snapshot of where you are as far as certain health markers, and then you get informed of that, and then based on your situation, you make decisions that's going to be best for you, at the recommendation of your doctor. So you get to have that conversation. Well, very soon, that's what's going to be taking place with the microbiome. I mean, it's taking place right now if you didn't know it. That's why we have this course that we're doing to get people educated, to put people in a position where they're informed. And when you're informed about something, you're less likely to fall prey to those who are even misinformed, or the marketing that may be put out there that if you hear about it, it's important. I'm gonna sign up for that. I'm gonna well, you're signing up and you're buying this product and that product, but you don't even know that much about the gut microbiome. But yet you'll buy this product, you'll order this thing without being informed. And that's why education is king, right? Let's make something available to the people, a course, so that they know what the gut microbiome is and they understand the what can create havoc and harm to it, and what you can do to nurture it or make it over and make it better. Like, the microbiome is so important, you guys. It's so important. And it's to your best interest to know it. And I'm going somewhere with this as it works with this client with fatty liver and PCOS. Because when I first got on the phone with her, the first thing I said was, hey, everything that I'm going to recommend to you and coach you on, I'm always going to be looking out for your health, not just on the outside, but from within. And I remember sharing with her that, in the very near future, they're going to have these super toilets. So what is a super toilet? Well, a super toilet is this toilet that's going to be inside of homes. And because it's able to do an analysis of your stool, it will actually tell you if you got a virus. The toilet will be able to inform you if there's signs that you got cancer. And all of this goes back to the importance of the microbiome. It all goes back to the microbiome. So as I'm working with this client and we're talking about her overall health, we're working and working and working. And all the signs of what we were doing said that she has dysbiosis, an imbalance of her gut, because the weight wasn't coming off. It was a struggle. And we understand insulin resistance. So it was obvious that was there. And then after like 3 or 4 months, I asked her a question. And this is where I made a little mistake with her in coaching. Looking at her, she was very fit and she's extremely health conscious. And she's not a liar. She is a follow through, amazing individual who I have the utmost respect for. So I just assumed it couldn't be PCOS. I knew all the signs were there for insulin resistance, but it, and if you have PCOS, that we know that's like a main sign that you have insulin resistance. So I said, look, let's keep working together, because everything looks like there's some insulin resistance. So 4 months into it, which I would have done this earlier if I didn't assume, because I was going off the person that I knew and how healthy she ate. I asked her a question: have you ever experienced PCOS? Anyone ever think or you may have PCOS? And boom, that's what she told me. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, why didn't I ask this earlier? And then as we're working together, she's not obese. We all have, sometimes it could be 5-10 pounds someone wants to. I'm telling you, this lady is fit. She looks fit. She just has some goals, and she's just wanted to drop some weight, and she reached out to me, and she knows a lot. She could literally coach a lot of people. She's really very informed when it comes to her own personal fitness, wellness, well-being. So she knows a lot. And this, again, is an example of why it's wise to get a coach, right? Because if you looked at my client, you would go, why would she need a coach? But when you're wise and you're smart and you get it, you'll get a coach when you want to take it to the next level. Like, I have people that I go to as my coaches. So anyway, I don't want to. I'm glad I just thought about that, because that's a great example. And one of these days I want to have her on my show, or our podcast, that Barbara and I do, because it'll be great. She's very well spoken, and I think it'll help a lot of people, right? So you don't have to be obese to get a coach. You get people like that. So because we came together and we're working on it as a team for her goals, eventually, guess what we just found out? She got an ultrasound. I was like, if I were you, I would get an ultrasound, to just rule out fatty liver. She gets an ultrasound. Guess what? There's fatty liver. So fatty liver, PCOS, and the whole time we were focused on the insulin resistant side. That's the good news on all this. And now I'm watching her numbers come down. She's dropping weight each and every week. When if she lost 1 pound in a month, that was considered successful. Now the weight is melting off. She's a little less than 3 pounds from goal. It's amazing. There's power in collaborating with someone and getting with someone that can help you. Same as for business. People have business coaches. And when you address the gut, I'm telling you, man, so many things start to show up. I'm seeing it left and right. It's to everybody's benefit. So, if you didn't know about, what we were doing with this course, I would check that out. If you don't know how the Diet for Life methodology works, I would check that out. If you got questions, you can always email. We're here to help, because we do care. Yeah, it's amazing. And one of the things that I see a lot when people are eating and when we're coaching is, if you're let's say you're doing Weight Watchers, or let's say you're doing Nutrisystem, or you're doing some diet, that's out there, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be with us and what we're doing. Keep track of your waistline. Measure your waistline. That's more important to monitor than stepping on a scale and seeing your weight. Measure your waistline. And if your weight goes down, but your waistline doesn't, that's telling you something. If your waistline gets smaller, but your weight doesn't go down the scale, that's telling us something else. Measuring the waistline and looking at your weight on the scale also is a quick and easy way for me to know, and you to know, if you're retaining water or not. when the waistline gets smaller, no matter what is taking place on the scale, I'm going to say it one more time. When the waist gets smaller, regardless of what's taking place on the scale, that's real solid progress, because the weight will always follow the waist. If the waistline gets smaller, the weight will eventually come down. If the weight comes down and the waist circumference gets bigger, that's not good. That could be a sign of inflammation. That's a sign of maybe some internal stuff that not going so well. And all of this goes back to the gut. All right. So I have about 4 minutes left. Anybody got a question? Anybody got a question? Questions. I'll take all questions. If you got one that I can answer that can help you continue to thrive with your own personal well-being and health. And as I told my mom throughout this whole pandemic, and we can always end here, I said, Mom, get the jab, but I want you to focus primarily on eating the way we know how to eat, continuing to be active. If you're not active, get active. Drink plenty of water, and just continue to challenge yourself to improve your overall health each and every week. If you go over a full year, you're going to have some challenges here and there. And when I say challenges, I'm talking about birthday parties, graduations, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's, this holiday, that holiday, this event, this friend wants to eat this friend wants to eat that. It's all around you. And if you don't get your mind right, it's going to be very difficult to get your body tight. It's going to be around you. Now, these people they have no idea what they're doing. But if you're mindful, you know exactly what you're doing. And you know how, like, you go on Facebook or like Instagram and you see all the couples blowing kisses at each other. Oh, I love you. Oh, you know, you're the best. Where's my boo? And they're always in those pictures. The majority of the time, those people are not, they are great at pretending. I see the same thing when you go to that party and someone's, oh, you can't eat cake? Oh, man, this cake is great. Oh, you're missing out. And they just put it out there. But when that evening comes to a close and they go home, brush their teeth before they go to bed, and they look at themselves in the mirror, they're not happy. But that's what people do. They put it out there like everything is all this and all that. And when you attempt to keep up with the Joneses, then you set yourself up, right? And when I say set yourself up, I'm saying the outcome isn't good. This is why I'm stressing focus on you. When someone offers you something that's not in alignment with what's going to help you get to where you want to be or be who you want to be, just say no, thank you, and keep it moving. Oh, that looks great. No, thanks, I'm good. Because they will push and they will attempt to influence you because it helps them feel better about what they're doing when they see you join. We all know the saying, misery does love company. So my Fat Loss Friday views is to encourage you to live your healthiest life. Don't assume anything like I did with this person. Instead, do everything possible to rule out the things that will block you, to discover the things that will help you. That's it. America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson. Thank you for giving me a chance to share some information, and I hope it is helpful. And if you have questions, we are here to answer questions. Other than that, be sure to like, comment, share, because I know you care as well.